Hey guys, welcome back for another video. What we're going to be doing today is we'll be breaking down all of our college bowl games that we have coming up for the 2024 college football season. We're going to completely look at every single matchup, try to predict the outcome, who's going to win and who is going to lose for all of our bowl games, including the playoff games. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments about these games or anything else, please drop them below and I will respond. Every week we're going over every single college football matchup. This is the first year of the 12-team playoff. There's a lot riding on what's going to happen the next few weeks, and we also do the same thing for every NFL game as well, and we also focus on the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've already had a couple bowl games kick things off. We did predict these couple first early games last week. Looks like we had South Alabama winning, Memphis winning. We had UNLV winning, James Madison. So 4 games. We're already 4-0 starting out the season, but there's 30-something bowl games. How good can we do? Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and get things started. So kicking things off, we have our Friday bowl games. We have Jackson State versus Ohio State, 12 p.m. on ESPN. Ohio comes in here. They are 10-3, and Jacksonville State 9-4. I originally had Jacksonville State winning this game, but obviously Rich Rodriguez is gone. They've had a lot of their players go into the transfer portal. This is a team that can consistently run the ball. Stewart closing in on 1,700 yards, but without their quarterback and without the coach and a lot of the players having gone into the portal, I have to go with Ohio. They can throw the ball, and they have a pretty solid defense. They're going to win this one. Going on to the next one at 3:30 p.m., it's a very similar situation. The portal is completely changing the outcome of these games. We're going to have the 7-5 Florida Gators versus the 9-4 Tulane team. Obviously, Tulane, really good season this year, but Mensah went into the portal. He's now going to, I believe he transferred to Duke, so he's going to be playing for Manny Diaz. He's gone. He's a player that can throw it. He could run it. Hughes, portal, a lot of their players that had great seasons going into the portal. This is a really competitive team. Could have potentially gone blow for blow with the Florida Gators. Florida Gators had a great end of the season, very good last month of the season. They didn't just qualify for a bowl, they had the chance to get 8 wins. With them playing a depleted Tulane, they're going to win this one. They're going to finish this season 8-5. Props to Billy Napier. A really good season for the most difficult college football schedule I've ever seen in my life. And then the next game at 8 p.m. on ABC, we're going to have obviously our playoff game. We do have a predictions video just for this game. Number 10 Indiana 11-1 versus number 7 Notre Dame 11-1. It's going to be cold here. Both teams know how to play in the cold. Both teams are from the state of Indiana. We're going to have a really good Indiana team under Cignetti versus Freeman's Notre Dame team. Steady dose of Leonard, Love. To me, Notre Dame's physicality and their depth on defense is going to make the difference here. They're going to ride Love all the way to the finish line, but Rourke having a great season for Indiana. They could potentially get the upset here, but we have Notre Dame winning the first round. Then Saturday, December 21st at 12 p.m. on TNT, number 11 SMU, 11-2 coming off that loss in the ACC Championship versus number 6 Penn State, also 11-2. Drew Aller, Singleton, Allen, Warren, Penn State dominating top 10 defense right now. SMU coming off the loss. Are they going to be able to handle the physicality of Penn State over 4 quarters? I don't think so. They do have an outside chance to win this game. It's all going to come down to Jennings and that line of scrimmage, but I have Penn State and their run game. It's going to be freezing cold, under 20 here. They win this one. Then after that, 4 p.m. on TNT, number 12, Clemson versus number 5, the Texas Longhorns. Clemson's won the ACC, but they were not one of the 4 highest-ranked conference champs. They're going to be playing Texas, coming off of a loss in the SEC Championship. Both of these teams, there's a question. Can they win the big game? Sarkisian, you haven't beat a ranked team this season. This is your chance to get a ranked win. Clemson, Dabo, you didn't want to work the portal. Things still worked out for you. You won the ACC. Props to you. Props to your team. Klubnik, Maffa, Williams, lots of weapons, but I have to go with Texas. They have a top 5 defense right now. Yes, they haven't played anyone. Yes, they lost to Georgia twice, but their defense gives up half of what Clemson's defense gives up. Texas wins this one. Then after that, at 8 p.m. on ABC, number 9, the Tennessee Volunteers, 10-2 versus number 8, Ohio State. Also 10-2. This game is going to be in Ohio State. Can Ryan Day avoid back-to-back losses at home? They lost to Michigan the last week of the season. They didn't make the Big Ten championship. They better not allow Tennessee to come in here and win in Ohio State Stadium. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Ryan Day here. Josh Heupel versus Ryan Day. Both of these teams are very similar. They've had high highs this season. They've had low lows this season. Very similar. They both have great elite top 10 defenses. The Buckeyes technically have the number 1 defense. This game's going to be close. It's going to be a line of scrimmage game. Both teams can run the ball. Tennessee has a little bit of a healthier offense right now. They have a healthier offensive line, but I'm going to go with the Buckeyes to win at home. Then Monday, December 23rd, 11 a.m. on ESPN. We're going to have Coastal Carolina 6-6. This isn't I think it was Grayson McCall back in 2020. This isn't the team that had that little Cinderella run back then versus UTSA. Right now, UTSA, they can at least score. They can move the ball. They are 10-point favorites. They have McCown there at the quarterback position, 24 touchdowns, 9 picks. They're going to be able to dominate this game through the air. I have UTSA pulling this one out. They had a really good season last year. Not a great season this year, but still they're going to get the win, finish the season 7 wins. 2:30 p.m. on ESPN, Northern Illinois 7-5. This is the team that beat Notre Dame in Notre Dame versus 6-6 Fresno State. Right now, NIU is the favorite. They have a pretty decent run game. They have Williams closing in on 800 yards. I think Fresno State could potentially pull the upset here, but I'm going to go with NIU to continue solid season, getting the 8 wins. Tuesday, December 24th at 8 p.m. on ESPN, 6-6 South Florida versus 7-5 San Jose State. South Florida actually didn't have a bad season. 2 of their losses were to top 14 teams, Bama, Miami. Outside of that, really strong season so far, but a lot of injuries. That's what held them back. San Jose State is actually a very competitive team. A lot of turnovers. They have to keep the turnovers down, but we're going to go with San Jose State to win a close one here. Thursday, December 26th, kicking things off, 2 p.m. ESPN, 7-5 Pittsburgh. I think they got 5-0, 6-0. Then they completely fell off the rails after that. They have to get this team to 8 wins. They had a really good start to the season, got into the top 25, completely fell off. Pat Narduzzi completely changed the offensive scheme. Holstein had a great season so far after transferring over from Alabama. They still have a lot of their playmakers there. They can pull this one off. 7-5 Toledo. They're going to be tough. They're going to give you a run, but we're going to go with Pittsburgh pulling out the win. At 5:30 p.m. on ESPN, this is kind of a close game to be a potential upset alert game. We have 7-5 Rutgers versus 8-4 Kansas State. Rutgers. Menage goes down. A lot of injuries. Really good defense. This is obviously a Greg Schiano team. They're going to be really disciplined. They're going to try to establish the run. They're going to play solid defensive line football. Kansas State, Avery Johnson, Giddens. Hopefully Giddens plays. Right now he's a top 10, a top 5 running back in the nation, closing in on 1,400 yards. Brown makes the catches when you need those 3rd and long situations. Avery Johnson, the highest recruited player in Kansas State history. And when he runs, he picks up massive yards on the ground. I have Kansas State, very well coached team. They win this one. 9 p.m. on ESPN, 7-5 Arkansas State versus 7-5 Bowling Green. Don't forget, Bowling Green is the team that took Penn State all the way to the end at Penn State. Almost beat them and upset them. I think that was week 2 or 3 of the regular season. We are going to go with Bowling Green and that high-powered offense to be able to pull off the victory here. Sorry about that, guys. Then on Friday, December 27th, 12 p.m. on ESPN, 6-6 Oklahoma. They're going to have a completely different football team here for this bowl game. Obviously, Jackson Arnold out. A lot of their players are transferred. A lot of their wide receiver corps transferred out. They have built up some momentum in the transfer portal, but obviously those guys won't be playing until next year. They'll be playing 9-3 Navy, coming off of that win versus Army. Right now, the Sooners are the favorite. I'm going to go out here. Oklahoma, very good defense under Brent Venables, but I have Navy pulling off a massive upset, winning against the depleted Oklahoma. Solid win versus an SEC program. Then at 3:30 p.m. on ESPN, 7-5 Georgia Tech. This is a really good team. Can they get Haynes King? Can King play? Can they get that run game going? They showed last game of the regular season they could compete with Georgia, taking them to 8 overtimes. Yes, they gave that game up, but they have the talent to beat a 6-6 Vanderbilt team. Very competitive team. Pavia, when they're fully healthy, they beat Alabama. They almost beat Texas also, but we're going to go with Georgia Tech getting a win versus an SEC program. Then 7 p.m. on ESPN, 8-4 Texas Tech. Morton, really good season. 27 touchdowns, 8 picks. Taj Brooks, he lit things up on the ground, closing in on 1,600 yards, 17 touchdowns. Arkansas, don't sleep on Arkansas. Just ask Tennessee. You do not want to overlook this team. They have Bobby Petrino calling plays. Sam Pittman took a little bit of the heat off of him. We're going to go with Texas Tech in that high-powered offense. Yes, they give up a lot of points. This game's going to be a shootout. Could go either way. Probably going to go down in the last possession, but we'll have Texas Tech pulling it out. Then at 8 p.m. on Fox, number 21 Syracuse, 9-3, coming off that win versus Miami. Their offense under Kyle McCord is lighting it up, leading the nation right now in pass yards per game versus 8-4 Washington State. I'd give Washington State an edge to win this game, but they are depleted through the transfer portal. Mateer not going to be playing this game. Have to go with Syracuse. They are ranked. They're going to get to 10 wins. Props to them. Props to their coaching staff. First year, completely rebuilt this team, and that offense is rolling, especially through the air. Then at 10:30 p.m. on ESPN, USC 6-6. They've lost practically their entire team. The team you saw on the field this season is not going to be the depleted roster that shows up the bowl game. Versus 8-4 Texas A&M Aggies. We have to go with the Aggies to win this one. They have the defense. They're going to have the playmakers there. They're going to be able to run the ball. Yes, they lost a running back for the season, but Wegman goes out. They filled the quarterback position just fine. They can run it. They can throw it. The number one rushing team in the SEC, averaging 220 yards on the ground every game. Saturday, December 28th at 11 a.m., UConn 8-4 versus 6-6 North Carolina. Mac Brown, he's out. You're bringing in, obviously, the GOAT himself, but he's not going to be coaching this team in this game. This is a little bit of a tough one. UNC, though, should have the talent. Hampton, does Hampton play 1,700 rushing yards, 15 rushing touchdowns? A lot of issues here, but they should still be able, being a Power 4 program coming out of the ACC, they should still be able to out-talent UConn, and their physicality should carry the day. We have the Tar Heels winning this one. Then at 12 p.m. on ABC, 7-5 Boston College versus 6-6 Nebraska. This is a tough one. This is going to be Bill O'Brien versus Matt Rule, two ex-NFL coaches. What's going to happen? Boston College, Castellanos, he's gone. And for Nebraska, Raiola, he did say he's staying. They have to rebuild this team. They lost some pieces through the portal. They were pretty injured, but we know Nebraska is going to be extremely physical. They're at least going to have a physical, above-average defense. We have Nebraska winning this one in a very, very close one. Then at 2:15 p.m. on ESPN, 10-3 Louisiana versus 8-4 TCU. This game's going to be a shootout. Every single game, this is the New Mexico Bowl. Every TCU game is a shootout. That's what's going to happen this game. They have Hoover, though. Hoover, one of the highest passing quarterbacks in the nation, 3,700 yards, 23 touchdowns, 10 picks. That's what's going to make it different. He also has Beck there closing in on 1,100 yards. Senior receiving core, TCU, Sonny Dykes, they take the day. Then at 3:30 p.m. on ABC, number 18, Iowa State 10-3 versus number 13, Miami Hurricanes 10-2. Miami is the favorite. Cam Ward said he's coming back. That has to amount for something. Heisman finalist, leads the nation in passing touchdowns. This guy was lighting it up. To me, should have finished much, much higher than number 4 for the Heisman. He has 36 touchdowns, 7 picks. They are deep across the board. Their wide receiver core loaded. Their defense is complete Swiss cheese. Their defense is not good in any way whatsoever. They should be able to get up for this game. Iowa State is not a high-flying offense, but they will have opportunities to score. But we have Miami and their talent wrapping things up. They get to 11 wins, and potentially Cam Ward goes number 1 in the NFL draft. 4:30 p.m. on the CW Network, 8-5 Miami of Ohio versus 8-4 Colorado State. The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Miami of Ohio, they can run the ball. They have Muse closing in on 1,100 yards. They have a pretty solid defense. They have a pretty solid rush defense. Colorado State, though, very strong second half of the season. We have Colorado State pulling off the win. 5:45 p.m. on ESPN, the Go Bowling Military Bowl. 7-5 East Carolina versus 6-6 NC State. NC State started out the season ranked, completely fell off the rails. Concepcion, a lot of those guys entered the portal. The quarterback situation didn't work out. Bailey had to fill in, but we're going to go with NC State pulling off the win here, winning a close one versus East Carolina. This is a state-to-state rivalry matchup here. At 7:30 p.m. on ABC, number 17 BYU 10-2 versus 9-3 Colorado, number 23. This is an interesting game. This is the Valero Alamo Bowl. This is two teams in the same conference meeting up in a bowl game. Very odd, but that's the way that things worked out. Colorado 3-point favorite here. Shedeur Sanders is playing. Travis Hunter is playing fresh off of his Heisman. BYU lives off the turnovers. They have a solid defense. But if they don't generate turnovers, that forces them to go to length of the field. Are they going to be able to do that versus a Colorado team? Does Colorado turn the ball over? Shedeur Sanders, very efficient passing, 35 touchdowns, 8 picks. And they have the offense that BYU doesn't have. They can't run the ball, but they can throw the ball. They're going to want to show out this last game, but hopefully they keep their eyes on the prize. We have Colorado winning this one. It's probably going to be like a to 24 game week. Then at 9:15 p.m. on ESPN, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, 5-7 Louisiana Tech versus number 22 Army, 11-2. Obviously, Army's not going to finish top 25. They just lost to Navy, but Louisiana Tech, they're actually filling in for, I believe it was Marshall that just had to step back because of the transfer portal. So they've only been preparing for this bowl for a couple days as of me making this video. Army, they're going to be able to run all over them. Obviously, I think the quarterback is Bailey. He is having a great season so far. He has 9 passing touchdowns. He has almost 20 rushing touchdowns. They are leading college football on the ground, running for 330 yards per game. They run the triple option. Time of possession, they're just going to run it right down your throat. Monday, December 30th, 2024, 2:30 p.m. on ESPN, 8-4 Iowa versus number 19 Missouri, 9-3. This is a tough one. This is the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl. I could see either one of these teams winning this game. Iowa, they're not a great team. They have a really good defense. Kirk Ferentz, I think he's the longest tenured coach as of right now. He might just be behind Whittingham there at Utah. But Iowa, they're going to get after. They're going to play solid defense. They're going to run the ball. Johnson, great season, closing on a 1,600-yard, 21 rushing touchdown. Missouri has the veteran weapons. Cook, Burden, Weiss Jr., multiple weapons, multiple ways they can beat you and spread you out. We have Missouri winning a very, very close one, but this is the type of game I would in no way be surprised if the Iowa Hawkeyes pull off the victory. Then, obviously, we're going to have our December 31st Bowls, 12 p.m. on ESPN, number 11 Alabama, 9-3 versus 7-5 Michigan. There's a massive talent discrepancy here. Yes, Michigan beat the Buckeyes. Prior to that, they were just a 6-6 team. A 6-5 team. We have Alabama getting the victory, but we need to see how the portal works out. Make sure that their entire team actually shows up on the field this game. Michigan showed, though, they can compete you if they force you to adapt your game to their style of play, force you into a running, slogging it out, trench warfare game. They can beat the more talented team, but we don't have that working here. We have Alabama pulling off the victory, making up maybe for that loss last season. Then at 2 p.m. on CBS, 8-4 Louisville versus 6-6 Washington. Washington with the veteran quarterback Will Rogers. Pretty solid defense, but they turn the ball over way too much. They have a lot of red zone problems. And for Louisville, Shaw having a great season. 23 touchdowns, 6 picks. Brown, a freshman, closing in on 1,100 yards. Brooks closing in on 1,100 yards. Too much offensive firepower. They win this one. 3 p.m. on ABC, number 15 South Carolina 9-3 versus number 20 Illinois 9-3. This is the SEC versus the Big Ten, 2 top 25 teams. South Carolina, the biggest issue for them is they were so hot to finish the season. It's been a couple weeks by this point. Can they still have that momentum going? Obviously, Altmaier had a great season for Illinois. South Carolina, though, they have a really good defense, only giving up 18.1 points per game. They are physical. They pull this win out. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN, 8-4 Baylor. Props to Dave Aranda. This team came out of nowhere. A lot of people did not even have him getting a bowl win this season or getting to a bowl. They pulled it off. They'll be playing LSU 8-4. Obviously, they have a top 10 overall talent roster. Brian Kelly, you need this win. You want to get the 9 wins. They have a great portal class coming through, but Baylor, surprisingly, really competitive this season. They're going to be the healthier team. We're going to go with Baylor pulling off the victory, but you don't want to underestimate LSU. They love to throw the ball. They have issues running the ball. They're banged up at running back, but good wide receiver core, good quarterback play. And then after that, obviously, we're going to be moving on into our playoff matchups. Those are undecided as of right now who's going to make it to that point. But Thursday, January 2nd, 2025, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN, 9-3 Duke, but they did lose Malik Murphy at the quarterback position, so they're going to be playing without their starting quarterback. That's a massive loss there versus number 14 Ole Miss. See how the transfer portal's kind of ruined some of these bowl games? Duke, really good defense led by Manny Diaz. They're going to get after it, but Ole Miss has too much firepower. This is the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Dart, Parrish, Harris missed a lot of games, still closed in on 1,100 yards. They're going to win this game to me pretty convincingly, especially without Malik Murphy playing. Friday, January 3rd, 2025, 4 p.m. on ESPN, the Servapo First Responder Bowl. 6-6 North Texas. They can light it up. They'd run that air raid. They're going to be spreading the ball out. But Chandler Morse probably not going to be playing this game versus 7-5 Texas State. The coach for Texas State was just on TV saying he has about 25 players who are getting tampered with right now by other teams. They're not even in the transfer portal. Teams are contacting them, trying to take them from this roster. So we don't even know who's going to be on this team to play this game. I could see this going either way. I'm going to go with Texas State because we know who's going to be on the roster, at least more so with Chandler Morris not playing for North Texas. To me, that's going to be a death sentence in this game. 7:30 p.m. on ESPN, 7-5 Minnesota versus 6-6 Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech did not live up to the hype coming into this season. Tootin, though, he's the primary playmaker. He's the X factor, running the ball, catching the ball. We have to go with Minnesota and their physical style of play. Brosmer, great season so far, 17 touchdowns, 8 picks. Saturday, January 4th, at 11 a.m. on ESPN2, 8-4 Buffalo versus 8-3 Liberty. This isn't the Liberty team that it was the last few years, but still a very competitive team. Don't sleep on Buffalo. We have Buffalo as the favorite, 1.5 point favorites, but we're actually going to go with the upset. We have Liberty again closing in on almost getting back to 10 wins. They win this one and they finish 9-3. That's a brief rundown of all of our bowl games we have coming up left for the 2024 college football season. Right now, we're already 4-0 going into these matchups. Oh, I didn't miss our Thursday, December 19th. How did I miss that one? 7 p.m. ESPN2, 8-4 Georgia Southern versus 9-3 Sam Houston. We don't want to forget that. Georgia Southern, Clay Helton's team, they run the ball, they keep the ball on the ground, but they're also able to move the ball through the air. But run the ball is what's going to open up that play action for them. We have Georgia Southern winning this one. Clay Helton, the old USC coach, their offense is going to lead the day here versus Sam Houston. So that's a wrap-up of all of our bowl games. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, please drop them below, and I will respond. Thank you.